Hello and welcome to Mr. Moher Music, and this is my series on film music. I thought I'll give you a few things you need to know before you get started. So let's have a quick overview of what the next 8 lessons are going to include. Lesson 1, silent movies from the 1890s to 1929. How is music being played when actually they don't have a way of recording it and the film at the same time to play it? How does that work? Moving on to session 2, which is the golden age of composing. Sound is being able to be recorded, and so is film and put together. How is that all working? Then moving on to branching out, different genres of music starting to come in the 1950s. Moving on to the 1960s, all changing. Pop, jazz, rock, different genres of music being mixed with traditional orchestra music to make interesting film scores. Moving then into the 1970s and big, epic film scores. Huge orchestras of 100 players or so playing some fantastic music. Moving on to the 1980s and synthesizers. They're electronic keyboards that create loads of different sounds, and they're used in so many films. Yes, orchestras are still used, but in come the synthesizers. Session 7, we're going to go from the 1990s to now, looking at some of the more different changes. Not so many changes, a few little musical changes and a few little techniques changing, but no huge changes. And then we're going to finish with one lesson looking at Disney and comparing 2 of the composers from Disney. Now for each of those lessons you're going to have a minimum of 1 piece to listen to, maximum of 3. And there's 3 hugely important words you need to know. I'm going to explain them in some of the videos and some I'm going to skip over them. So here we go. Before we start, tempo, the speed of the music. Some music's going to be fast and some music is going to be slow. And it's really important when you give an answer about tempo that actually you listen to the whole piece, because sometimes it's going to speed up, sometimes it's going to get slower. So tempo, speed of the music. Similarly for dynamics. Dynamics is how loud or how quiet a piece of music is. And it would be boring if the music stayed the same. So it's going to go on a journey getting louder and quieter all the way through. So when you're doing listening tasks, make sure you kind of listen really carefully to getting louder and quieter. Sometimes composers just get the whole orchestra to get louder and quieter. Sometimes they add and take away instrument, changing the amount of layers. My final word that I think is really important is instrumentation. I use this word a lot, and it's what instruments you can hear. Now, for some pieces I've been really kind, and I've shown you the video of the instruments being played, so it might be an orchestra, it might just be someone playing a piano. Some, you're not getting that, so you're going to have to use your ears more to try and identify the instruments. For every piece, I'm going to ask you this one question. Do you like it? Yes, no, maybe, and why? I'm looking for a nice detailed answer for that. I'm not just looking for, I don't really like this, it's not my style. I'm looking for a nice answer like, I like this piece of music because it starts really dramatic. The drums start and then the string section comes in and the piece builds and builds and builds. I'm looking for answers a bit like that. So the more detail the better. Now, if you're watching this in the film music playlist, fantastic, because it will continue straight on to session 1. If not, get yourself over to the playlist button and click film music and you can watch through all the videos without having to search around for different things. Also, there's a worksheet for every session that you can download from the description box below, and that's all you need to know. I hope you enjoy these 8 sessions on film music.